This is what if Goku was born with Gaki and was smart. So in this one, everything happens like originals, but when he's getting sent off to Earth, he starts to cry and his ki flares up, which makes some meteors and debris from other worlds fly up into his pod, like changing the trajectory by a little bit, which sends it onto a different course, but still it's hurtling towards the Earth. And when it hits, it lands near a corporation known as the Capsule Corp. And an old looking man. Wait, hold up, actually. Just a man, because I think he was. Yeah. A man would then go out and see the pod. And he would take the boy from out the pod. And he would keep this boy. And he knew this boy was different by the fact that the boy had a tail. And he would go on to name this boy Goku just to keep things simple. And after a couple of years of raising this boy, he started to realize that this boy really likes to fight. So he ended up making him a room where he can train by himself, so he doesn't have to try to fight his dad while his dad is busy. And his mother would actually make him have to study before he can go train. So this makes the boy a lot smarter. And one day while he's training, he's fighting, he's shadow boxing. And he ends up tripping and falling back and hitting his head on some of his equipment, which makes him forget some things. But he still loves fighting, and he's still smart. This continues on for 12 years, and the boy finally turns 12. And this boy, when he was only 10, had asked for his father to make a room where he could increase the gravity, for the reason that when he reads and studies, he studies on way to become stronger. So he's studied about ki and has been able to use ki blasts, but they're pretty weak. And he's been able to figure out that weights help increase your training, but he didn't really like wearing the weights as they were uncomfortable to him. So he had the idea to get a room that increased the gravity, which was made in that year when he was 10. So his power level as of now is 1,200. And this is a lowball thing. At first, he has God Ki. Second, he was training in the gravity room for 2 years. And Goku, in the canon, when he was training by himself, he went to a power level of 60,000. So I am majorly lowballing this. But one day, his older sister, Bulma, would be leaving the house in a rush, and he would follow her. And he would ask her where she was going. And she would say, well, I just got my allowance, so I'm going shopping, because I plan on going on a trip. And Goku would then say, well, can I come with you? And she would nod her head as they were going to town. And Goku would see an outfit that he really liked. And it matches his blue hair, as his hair was dyed by his father, as his father didn't want him to think that to find out that he wasn't actually, their son. Because he felt like Goku would get angry or try to run away or something. And Goku would also go to a hairstylist and get his hair just pushed down into a kind of, you'll see, into this formation. And he also has the outfit too, but with, instead of those kind of shoes, it's like normal white shoes, all white shoes. Well, they're basically sneakers. But he would then go back to his room while Bulma is stocking up on supplies, and he starts to train for a little more. And as he's punching, he feels a slight rage inside of him, but he doesn't know why. And as he keeps fighting, he would then feel a boost in power. And he would feel a push in power. And all the equipment in his room would fly off of where it was and crash onto the ground. Then this power would be gone, as Goku had got shocked by what had happened. But his sister, Bulma, would then call him out, as he would walk out and get in the car with his sister. Now, over the time they were traveling to their first destination, every time they would take breaks, Goku would try to master on controlling this power, and he was able to get it to awaken a couple of times, but was never able to keep the form for longer than at least 3 seconds. But he kept trying until he eventually made it to their first destination, and there was an old man, and they would ask him for the Dragon Ball, and he would ask them if this was what they were looking for, as he would show them an orange ball with 4 red stars on it. And Bulma would nod her head, and he would give it to them with a smile on his face. And he would say, well, you two might be hungry, so you guys want to come in and eat? And they would both accept that, as they haven't had an actual cooked meal in a while. So as soon as they went in, Bulma started eating, and Goku just started chowing down. And Gohan would say, well, the old man, which revealed his name was Gohan, would say, this boy has quite an appetite for such a small body. And she would say, yeah, that's all he really does is fight and eat. And I guess he studies sometimes. I would say, oh, so you practice in martial arts. And this would make Goku stop eating and nod his head. So Grandpa Gohan would offer to train him before they end up leaving. And Goku would accept the offer. And they would train for a couple of days. And then they would leave. Bulma and Goku would leave. Goku would learn how to use powerful ki blasts. And he also was able to use the form for a lot longer. But he didn't get much stronger from the old man, seeing as he outclassed the old man by a lot. Now, the rest of this journey pretty much goes the same. It's just that Goku completely wipes everyone. And when we get to the Red Ribbon Army arc, he pretty much just destroys them. And to the point he destroys them where Dr. Gero also died. So there will be no androids. And when he trains with Master Roshi, Grandpa Gohan will also be there to train him as well. As with both of those teachers teaching him, he was able to increase in his martial arts, and he also got a little power boost, and his power would then boost up to 1,400. He would also introduce the 2 old men to gravity training, as they would train in there for a while and get pretty strong, both of them getting power levels of 500. And this would actually be better for them, so they could help training with Goku. And Krillin wasn't left too far behind, with a power level of 350. So they would all go and enter the Tenkaichi Budokai, and Goku would win pretty easily. But the final match between he and Jackie Chun, which was actually just Master Roshi in disguise, as he had bested Grandpa Gohan in his disguise in the last round, which Goku kind of already knew, because he knows how to sense ki as well. It just come naturally to him. So, he already knows who they are, but he just pretends like he doesn't. And he would then start his fight as Jackie Chun. Jackie Chun is actually, I think that's how you say it, would lunge at Goku, delivering a kick to his stomach. Well, at least trying to. But Goku had dodged with extreme speeds, and he would punch Jackie Chun, sending him rolling to the perimeter of the mat. And he would start running at him. But then Jackie Chun would jump out of the way. And this would make Goku turn around, jump, and he would start flying. Goku has gotten so good with his ki control that he can now fly. And he knows the Kamehameha wave. He would fly towards Jackie Chun, uppercut him in the chin, and then fly up, grabbing his leg, swinging him around, and say, "Death Swing," as he would launch Jackie Chun back onto the ground, knocking him out. This would make, would make Goku the winner of the Tenkaichi Budokai. And with the prize money, they would go out to eat. But then Goku realized that he had left some stuff back at the place, so Krillin had went to go get it for him. As then he noticed that Krillin's energy had faded, and he hurried up and flew to where Krillin was last sensed, and he seen a dead Krillin. He seen a green man flying off with the Dragon Ball. So Goku would start flying after him, and when he finally caught up, he would see multiple green men, 3 to be exact, and then he would go to the one that he knows killed Krillin, and his hair would turn a dark red, and so would his tail. In this version, Goku has never turned into the Ozaru form. He keeps his tail, and he would fly down to Tambourine and punch him in his face, sending him flying into a tree, and this would instantly kill Tambourine. Then the other of the green men would start running at Goku while the last one, King Piccolo, would make his wish for eternal youth. Then the bigger one of the two sons would try to punch at Goku, but Goku would just catch his fist with one hand and shoot a ki blast straight through his stomach. And he would stare at King Piccolo, and King Piccolo would stare back at him, as Goku would punch him in the face, sending him flying in on the brink of death. And with King Piccolo's dying breath, he would spit out an egg, which killed him. Then this Kami would inform the Z Fighters of what King Piccolo had done by spitting out, and that he had spit out an egg. And he would offer to train Goku, as he knows that Goku could no longer learn much from Master Roshi or Grandpa Gohan. And Goku would say he would, under 2 conditions. Krillin has to be able to train there, and they have to be able to bring his gravity room up there. And these 2 conditions would be met. So Goku would start training, and somewhere in the middle of his training, he actually got bored of fighting with Krillin, as Krillin was no match for him. But Krillin was strong in his own right. And Goku had gotten a hang of his powers. Well, of his god powers. And he would go to the Dragon Balls, and when he got them, he would wish for a worthy opponent that was around his age, so he could grow up with them side by side and have, a good training partner. And the boy would be teleported next to him, and he would see the boy was basically the same as him, as the boy had a tail as well. And this boy happened to be Broly. And this is how he looks like. And this Broly is based off of Super Broly for 2 reasons. Because Super Broly is weaker, like the Kid Super Broly is weaker than Kid Super Broly in Dragon Ball Super. And if we do end up using that Broly, Goku will sadly lose his life. Which we don't want to happen in Dragon Ball. So, yeah. So, he would look at the boy, and he would say, "So, you're strong." And the boy would nod his head. As the boy was born with a power level of 5,000, and with some extra training, he actually gained a power level of 7,000. And Goku had a power level of 6,000. So, they're closely matched, and they begin to fight. Goku would actually have the upper hand, seeing as he's better when it comes to martial arts, and he's a bit stronger physically. He would lunge at Broly and punch him in his gut, and then he would deliver an astonishing punch to the face. But then Broly would kick him in his ribs, and then headbutt him in the gut, sending him flying back. And Goku would catch himself and start flying at full speed towards Broly, and Broly would begin to get in the stance and punch at Goku, but Goku would dodge out of the way, making Broly miss, and then he would kick him in the chin, sending him flying into the air. They would then clash with each other, throwing blows at each other that would be blocked by another blow. And after this continued, Broly would throw an astonishing punch at Goku, but Goku would dodge under and deliver a devastating punch to Broly's face, which would eventually anger him and send him into Super Saiyan. And in his Super Saiyan form, he is beating on Goku. Goku doesn't even stand a chance. And he makes the mistake by uppercutting Goku into the air, which gave Goku enough time to go into his God form. And at this point, Broly is a joke. Broly can't even land an attack on him. But as Broly gets angrier, he still gets stronger. As he still has the Dragon Ball, he still goes by almost the same guidelines as Super Broly. As he still gets stronger when he fights, the more he fights. Because I don't think that was a thing in Dragon Ball Z for him. But yeah, it is now. And as he fights, his hair and tail start to turn a lime green. And he actually starts getting pretty even with Goku. So Goku realizes he has to end the fight quick. He would then punch Broly in his face and kick him in the sky and hit him with a 50% Kamehameha wave, knocking Broly out. And he would power down to his base form, pick up Broly, and take him to the lookout. And when Broly awoke, he and Goku and Krillin would train together. Then, after the years pass, they all meet up for the next Tenkaichi Budokai. And Bulma, Yamcha, and the others are kind of confused they see another boy that's just like Goku. Just they have different hairstyles. And Goku would say, "Well, this is Broly. And he's been training with us for a while. I hope you guys don't mind." And they wouldn't really care. So this version of Broly can control when he goes Super Saiyan. Just he can't control his legendary Super Saiyan. and he's very strong. And Piccolo has got even stronger as well, with a power level of 3,000, because he's been training way harder. But sadly, he's still no match for any of the three boys that were trained by Kami. See, Broly has a base power of 20,000, and Goku has a base power of 25,000. And Krillin has his base power of 16,000. And then when freaking Broly goes Super Saiyan, it's pretty much overkill. And when he goes Legendary Super Saiyan, he's basically got to be beating on Frieza. And Goku in his God form would beat on Frieza as well. And so, basically, they end up beating Piccolo, but they spare him, so Kami will get to live as well. Now we're gonna do time skip, and Goku gets with Chi-Chi, but he doesn't get a son, for the reason that he likes fighting more than original Goku. So instead of focusing any attention, no, actually, just to make him not seem like a very horrible person, I'm gonna just say he doesn't get with Chi-Chi. And nor does Broly, as Broly's kind of introverted and he doesn't really look for, females. So Bulma ends up she stays with Yamcha. Because I think, she's with Yamcha still. Or did she? Yeah, I'm going to just say she was with Yamcha for the moment. And, yeah. And the two Saiyans fulfill a high power level coming to Mount Paozu. To Kame House, because they're at the reunion. And when they're sitting there, a person with long hair would step on the island and stare them dead in their eyes, as the Saiyan would announce himself to be Raditz, and he would say that Goku was his brother, but he would be calling him Kakarot. And Goku would say, "My name is Goku. I don't know who Kakarot is, but he's not here, so you can keep looking." But somewhere else, Raditz would then say, "You see that tail you have? You're nothing like these Earthlings. You're a Saiyan. Don't tell me you haven't realized that." And this would actually make Goku be like, "I knew I wasn't a human, but I didn't know I was a Saiyan. But if you've come here to cause trouble, I'll have to exterminate you. Like you can do that. You have a power level of a measly 5,000, as Goku is suppressing his power. Raditz would say, "My power level is above that of our Prince Vegeta's original power. My power level is 20,000. And it's like this because he was training with Nappa and Piccolo for a while." And he would say, "Prepare to die," as he would dash over Goku. And Goku with one hand would just catch his fist and say, "I'm sorry, but you're no match for me." As he would kick Raditz, and this would knock him out. And he would let Raditz heal up. And he would tell Raditz that he was suppressing his power. And he would then show off his full base power, which is above 100,000. this would just make Raditz astonished, as he would be fed a sensu bean, boosting his power all the way up to a 40,000. And he would say, that boost in power was so incredible. I now rival Nappa. But Vegeta is still on a whole nother level, with a power level of 60,000. But we've been able to keep a low radar, as we're still weaker than most of Frieza's high-ranking soldiers. So Frieza doesn't care at the moment. Frieza. Who's this Frieza guy, Raditz? He's a tyrant that destroyed our planet, killed our parents too. And we plan on killing him to avenge them. Goku would then respond with, well, I will help you kill them. But after that, I'm not doing anything else. And Raditz would be okay with this, but he used to say, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta are coming, and they're going to kill you. So, you might want to train to get stronger, or you won't be a match for them. So Goku would say, okay. Knowing that he knows that he would be able to beat them anyway, but he just wants to train. So, Broly, and Raditz would all train in a gravity chamber for the next year, while Krillin would train with everyone else. And now, when the Saiyans arrive, Goku would tell Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, all those fellas, that he and the other two could handle this with ease. So he told them just, sit back, do whatever they want to, and they're gonna go handle this. So they would meet up with the two Saiyans, and the two Saiyans would show off their power levels. And Nappa would instantly start going to fight Broly, as he's seen he was the weakest with his suppressed power. Because Broly's suppressed power level was at 20,000, Raditz's suppressed power level was at 21,000, and then Goku's suppressed power level was at 23,000. So when he goes after Broly, they both clash fists, and they start appearing all over the map, sending shockwaves as they're fighting. And Broly slowly starts overpowering Nappa, but they keep fighting anyway. Until Broly would slam both of his fists down on Nappa, sending him flying into the ground. Then he would fly down, and Nappa was completely paralyzed. But before Vegeta could kill him, Raditz starts fighting Vegeta, and they're evenly matched. Until Vegeta starts going full power, he would then gain the edge over Raditz. But then Raditz would jump back and ask Goku if they could finally show off their true power, which Goku would respond with yes. As Raditz will power up to full power, which was 50,000. And then on top of that, he would go Super Saiyan. And this would leave Vegeta's jaw on the floor. Then Broly would power up to his full power, which was 150,000. And he would go Super Saiyan as well. And this would also make Vegeta, just be scared. Then Goku would make his power level, raise his power level all the way up to 250,000. And he would go into his God form. But this would leave Vegeta puzzled, as he could feel so much pressure and a devastating energy, but he can't sense any of the ki. And his scouter isn't reading anything. And this would actually make him laugh at Goku, But his laughing would soon be come to a stop, as Goku was behind him in a blink of an eye. And Goku would slap the back of Vegeta, knocking him out. And the three, having no use for the Saiyans, would just launch them in the air and send ki blasts at them, killing them. And Goku only was gonna agree to this for the reason that he didn't want them to cause any problems in the future if he did spare them, since he's thinking a lot smarter than in canon. But they would end up, getting some intel on Frieza from Kami. And then they would find out that he was going to Namek to find out about Dragon Balls, since I still want this to go the same. So they would all go to Namek in a spaceship that had a built-in gravity room, because Bulma used Raditz's pod, Nappa's pod, and Vegeta's pod to improve Kami's spaceship, and she put a gravity room in there. So the three Saiyans would train there for the 6 days, and they would all have a great boost in power. And as soon as they got there, they started fighting some of Frieza's soldiers. It felt like there was thousands of them, but the three Saiyans were able to destroy them all without even breaking a sweat. As we're gonna, everything from here, pretty much, is actually pretty different actually. So they go looking for the Dragon Ball that Frieza hasn't gotten, which they find it with Elder Guru. Elder Guru unlocks their potential. They get a way greater power increase, and then Zarbon and Dodoria show up, and they're both in their full power forms off bat. And Goku asks if he can handle this one, which Broly and Raditz let him. So Goku would fly at Zarbon in his transformed state, and he would uppercut Zarbon. Then before Zarbon could fly off, he would grab his leg and slam him down into the ground, making a crater. Zarbon would try to punch Goku, but Goku would move his head a little bit, dodging the punch. Then he would grab Zarbon's arm, breaking it, and launching a ki blast, killing him. Then Dodoria came from behind trying to kick him, but he would dodge under it and grab Dodoria's leg, slamming him down onto the ground where Zarbon was. Then Dodoria would get up and try to deliver a powerful uppercut to Goku, but Goku would just step back. Then Dodoria would jump back and start firing massive ki blasts at Goku, but Goku would just launch the Kamehameha wave at Dodoria, obliterating him. Or, Dodoria's a girl, right? Yeah, I think Dodoria is actually a female. Yeah. But, anyway, after that, they would find Frieza, and Raditz would be the first to challenge Frieza. And as he's fighting Frieza would then be forced to go into his third form, as Raditz was able to overpower all of his other forms, and still the third form wasn't even enough to handle him. So eventually, Frieza went to his final form with 50%, and he started overpowering Raditz. But Raditz would just go Super Saiyan, and it would be an easy win. But instead of killing Frieza, he actually gives him the Setsu Bean and lets Broly fight next. And this goes relatively the same. And this would anger Frieza as he realized he's basically just being used to gauge their power. So as he would get the next Setsu Bean, he would just tell Goku to go full power off bat, as he can't wait to obliterate him. Goku would do so, going into his God form. And Frieza would be puzzled as he couldn't sense any ki from him. So he would think this would be an easy win. As when he went to go punch Goku, Goku uppercutted him in the gut, sending a hole, just putting a hole in Frieza, killing him. Then they would leave Namek. And there would be many years of peace until the Buu arc. And in the Buu arc, everything is pretty much the same, just that there's no Vegeta, there's no Goten, there's no Gohan, there's and there's a Broly. So Videl would just get beat up by Spofovich. Spofovich. Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. And the match would be stopped. Things would just keep going forth from there. No, actually, I do want Goten to be born. So Goten is born. And Goten's born. Because Goku finally gets with Chi-Chi. Then Bulma has a son with Raditz, which is named Trunks still, but he has slightly longer hair. He has longer hair, but it's still in the shape of how it is in canon. And Goten is actually stronger than Trunks. And I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to make God Ki like a genetic thing. Like, it can also be passed down through genetics, which it was for Goten. And Goten was able to master the God form. And Trunks was able to use his version of what would be called Super Saiyan 3, as over the years, Raditz had unlocked the form just like that. And it would pretty much be Super Saiyan 2, but his hair would be orange. And this form is actually stronger than canon Super Saiyan 3. But he still isn't in the match for Goten, as he loses. Then in the actual tournament, or the adult division, I guess you would say, instead of Gohan getting his power absorbed, Broly would get his power absorbed. And yeah, but they wouldn't get much. Well, they wouldn't do much of power stealing, but they had tons of it, to the point where, because since Broly's just like that strong, so they would end up resurrecting Majin Buu, and like the way they tried to get to Babidi, it pretty much happened the same way, where they had to fight all the different enemies and stuff, and no one got turned to stone as well, and no one got turned into a Majin, since none of them hate each other, and none of them have that, like, drive to try to surpass one another. Well, they do, but, like, not in the way Vegeta had. So, then Majin Buu would start fighting Broly, and Broly would be evenly matched with him in his base form. And this would surprise Majin Buu. Then Broly would go Super Saiyan to start, like, beating on Majin Buu. But Majin Buu's regeneration was too much for Broly, as Broly would then turn into a legendary Super Saiyan, exhausting himself, and Goku not wanting him to destroy the planet. He would chop his neck, knocking him out. Then Raditz will go fight, going into his Super Saiyan 3 form. Or, for now, since I don't get it mixed up, I'm just calling it Super Saiyan 2 Ascension. As he would then start beating on Majin Buu. But once again, the regeneration was just too much. And before Majin Buu tried to absorb him, Goku would be able to save him. Then Goku would finally say it was his turn. And he would start beating up Majin Buu. And he would throw Majin Buu in the air and launch a full power Kamehameha wave. But it missed, as Majin Buu had split into two different parts. And they would start fighting each other, which would make Goku stop fighting. But then the skinny, darker one would absorb the smaller the fat one, and they would become Super Buu. But Super Buu wouldn't attack Goku. He would actually go to the unconscious Broly and absorb him, which would give him a great boost in power. And Super Buu would stare at Goku and like fly towards him as he was getting ready to fight him. But then he would fly over him and absorb a Raditz that wasn't paying attention. And this would make Buu feel like he was strong enough to fight Goku, which he was. He was fighting Goku in his God form, and they were going blow for blow, disappearing and appearing all across the world. But then Goku and Super Buu, would be in the air. They would be staring at each other. And Goku would say, "This isn't my full power. And now that I know that you're at your full power, I guess I can just destroy you now." As he would start powering up and the world would shake. And then he would turn into the mastered version of Super Saiyan God. He would call it Super Saiyan God Evolution. And he would stare into Majin Buu's eyes as he would disappear. And he would use a spirit slash, making a blade around his hand made of ki, slashing down the middle of Majin Buu, which would split Broly and Raditz from Majin Buu. And then Super Buu, would revert to Kid Buu. And then Kid Buu would be obliterated by Goku. But Goku, just powering up, had alerted the god Beerus, which would make him almost wake up from his nap. And now another few years pass, and his Goten is named Goten. He's not named Gohan because Grandpa Gohan doesn't die. And Goku really never had much of a bond with him, so he wouldn't really name his son after him, even if he did die. So Goten has been able to pick up on this new form, and Goku has been able to improve on his martial arts. Raditz has been able to just improve himself as well, and Trunks would also improve his strength, and so would Broly. And Broly has been able to go into his legendary Super Saiyan form from time to time, but he starts to lose control, so he refrains from doing so. And while they're all at Bulma's birthday party, Goku's not training with King Kai as he doesn't know King Kai, and King Kai pretty much doesn't have much to teach him besides Kaioken, but I don't think Goku would even want that technique thing. But so Beerus would appear. He would start eating and stuff. So the fight wouldn't happen as early as it did, but it would still happen. And he would say he was looking for a Super Saiyan God. So Goku would turn into his God form as if this was the form he was looking for. And he would have Raditz transform into his Super Saiyan forms too, just in case. And Beerus would say, "That form that you're using, Goku, that's the one." And they would instantly start fighting, going straight into the sky, punching so hard the universe was shaking. They were going punch for punch, kick for kick. Then they clashed punch fists, and they would be sent back. Beerus would say, "You're strong for a mortal, but I'll go full power now." As he started going full power, and Goku said, "So will I," as he transformed into his God evolution form. And he would start fighting Beerus once again, but he was losing. And they continued to fight for a little longer until Goku pushed him back and powered up into his Super Saiyan Blue form. But it was different. It was, instead of it being the blue that it is, it's actually like a teal color. like a greenish bluish actually. Let's say like so. This is his evolution. Super is Super Saiyan God evolution. Super Saiyan pretty much. Not Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan evolution or it would be called Super Saiyan Blue evolution. I guess still. Or maybe it would just be called Super Saiyan Teal or Turquoise. Yeah, I'm gonna say it was called Super Saiyan Turquoise since it doesn't look blue, so he doesn't call it blue. And his hair would be spiked up as well, as if he was in a Super Saiyan form. And he would then start beating Beerus pretty badly as well. And he would knock out Beerus. And Whis would then ask him if he wanted to be the god of destruction, but Goku would decline. And then Goku would ask if he would train him, Raditz, and Broly, which he would. And after this, they found out Frieza's brought back to life. And pretty much that's a wipe. They literally destroy Frieza. Frieza didn't even get a chance. Then, Tournament of Power. But Zeno and the Grand Priest came to a decision, seeing that Goku's so strong, they only let the three Saiyans join their tournament while everyone else gets to pick, the same amount of fighters. And over this time, the other Saiyans have Raditz has unlocked the God Key, and he can use Super Saiyan Blue evolution. And Broly has been able to master his legendary Super Saiyan form, and even go to legendary Super Saiyan 2. And Goku has unlocked a very strong form as well, but it's not Ultra Instinct. And we'll see it later. As the tournament commences, and every universe is getting wiped out. Oh, I forgot to go over the Team Universe 6 versus Universe 7. Well, you guys probably already know how that went. And Kaba was taught Super Saiyan. And Hit was pretty easy to deal with. All of them, it was a wipe for Universe 6. Universe 7 destroyed them. But, anyway. So, all the other universes are pretty much getting dominated by the three Saiyans. And by any other opponents as well. And they're all getting wiped out in at least one punch. And then, we're down to our last remaining fighters. Toppo, Jiren, Kel, and Kefla, and Khalifa. These are the last fighters other than the three Saiyans. So Raditz would then start fighting Toppo. And Broly would fight the two female Saiyans. As Goku and Jiren would stare at each other, watching the fight. Well, not watching the fight, sensing the fights. And Raditz's fight with Toppo will go like this. Raditz will go into his Super Saiyan 2 Ascended form. As he would then start going blow for blow with Toppo. And Toppo would then get pushed into his God of Destruction form. As it was an even match. But then Toppo started overpowering Raditz. And it would go like this. Toppo would throw a punch to Raditz, this guy, sending him flying into the air. And he would jump up into the air and slam both of his fists down on Raditz, which Raditz would block, but he would still fly down far and hit the ground. And as Toppo falls down, he delivers a kick to Raditz's stomach, which makes him cough up some blood. He would then stand over Raditz menacingly, getting ready to beat him into the ground before knocking him off the board or the arena. But then Raditz would power up into his Super Saiyan Blue evolution, and he would kick Toppo in his gut. See, Super Saiyan Blue was already enough to handle Toppo. So Super Saiyan Blue evolution is pretty much like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku going against a base form Goten. That's pretty much what this is like. And he's just massacring Topo. But Topo was able to knock Raditz off the board somehow, as he caught him off guard when Raditz was being cocky. Then, Broly versus Kale and Khalifa would pretty much go like Goku versus them. And when Broly was pushed into Legendary Super Saiyan 2, the Angels and Daishinkin would eventually have him removed as he was a danger to the participants watching. So, it's a 3v1. And they all go to their full power as they don't mess around. And this would cause Goku to go to his full power, which is Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct. It's Ultra Omni Saiyan, as he would get markings all over his body. And he would stare down the three opponents as Kefla would appear in front of him and get ready to deliver a kick to his face. He would catch her leg, slam her onto the ground, and launch her off the arena, eliminating her. Then both Jiren and Topo in their strongest forms, but Topo be a bit weakened, would start clashing fists with Goku. And Goku would be fighting them effortlessly, as he would start talking to them saying, "I'm only going 20%. So sadly for you guys, if I was to go any higher than this, you would lose." And that's kind of the whole goal here, so I apologize. As he would then go 30% and knock them both off with one punch. Excuse me. And Daishikin would say, "Whoa, for the second part of this tournament, we're going to let you fight any angel of your choice." And Goku would look up at Daishinkin and say, "Let me fight you then." And Daishinkin would be okay with this. And they would start fighting. And they would be equal. And Goku would go 100%. And Daishinkin would go 50%. And they would still be equal. Daishinkin would say, Daishinkin would quote Goku and say, "I'm only going 50%. So sadly for you, if I go any higher than this, you're going to lose." But I guess that's the whole point. As he would go 60% and destroy Goku, leaving Goku passed out on the ground. I've pretty much literally went over the whole Dragon Ball Z franchise. But I do have a little bit extra in store for you guys, so it's okay. Oh, and the Goku Black Arc never really happened because freaking Zamasu wasn't even able to freaking take Goku's body, because Goku literally just beat him up, then had freaking Beerus Hakai him and destroy his universe. I mean, not destroy his universe, destroy his body. But yeah, I do have extra in store for you guys, so stay tuned for part 2.